could I get monkeypox? Dr. Perry Wilson joins us now to talk more about this. So yes, help us with that, right? Because it is contagious. How contagious is it?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I want to make really clear is that monkeypox is not a sexually transmitted infection. There's a lot of misinformation on social media right now. It is not highly contagious. In fact, it just requires close personal contact. But you can be infected with monkeypox from, for example, contact with the bed sheets of someone who is infected, who is sleeping in those bed sheets. A lot of the human-to-human transmission just occurs within households, people within close proximity to each other. So the problem with sort of associating this outbreak with a particular community like the LGBTQ community is that it runs the risk of stigmatizing people, and people need to know that you can become infected with this, and you should tell your doctor if you're concerned about symptoms, regardless of what the mechanism of infection is.
When you say bed sheets, I think hotel. Is that something that you could get it from?
Not if they're washing the sheets, and so it's not a long-lived virus in that way. In fact, for the vast majority of people, there's really very little concern about monkeypox infection. One of the things that makes monkeypox very different from COVID is that you cannot transmit monkeypox when you're not symptomatic. So people who are infectious generally will have fevers, and in some case will even have the monkeypox lesions, those spots on the skin. Unlike COVID, where you can be walking around asymptomatic and still infect people. So this makes it a very different beast when it comes to pandemic containment or epidemic containment.
Your everyday person walking around, right? What do we do to protect ourselves so we don't get it?
You really don't have to do anything. You should be much more concerned about catching COVID than monkeypox. If you're not around anyone who's symptomatic, you really have no risk. All the general hygiene things that we all, should be doing anyway, stuff like washing our hands when we're out in public and things like that, are still very good to protect you from monkeypox. But as long as a close contact isn't symptomatic, you're incredibly unlikely to catch this disease.
Yeah, who would have thought it would be a little bit of a relief to say it's not as contagious as COVID. Yeah, talking about two viruses here. Do people generally make a full recovery if they do indeed get infected with monkeypox?
Well, most people do. There's two sort of subversions of monkeypox. One is more severe. The one that is spreading around the world outside of Africa right now seems to be the less severe version, which has been reported to have about a 1% mortality rate. That's not nothing. That's significant, obviously, if there's enough people infected. But generally, no, people make a full recovery. I will say, though, that those lesions on the skin, those blisters, can be scarring, and in some cases, that's disfiguring. So it's not, entirely benign.
All right, Dr. Perry Wilson, thank you so much for your medical expertise this morning.